Ladies and gentlemen, Primetime CP23 here with another video. Back in the office. Got the full beard going on. I'm about it. Today, we're talking video games. Not just any video games, though. We're talking about video games that I am anticipating the release of. Whether those video games have actually been announced or not, and whether those video games are even in development or not. These are my top 5 most anticipated games. Let's get right into it. Oh, one more thing before we get into it. These are not in any particular order. It's just 5 games that I'm really looking forward to and really hoping happen because I love them so much. P.S. New York Jets never stop repping, even when they have like the most interceptions in the NFL this season. Never stop repping. Let's get into it. Starting off is a Borderlands MMO. Just the idea of this makes me happy because Borderlands already has so much replayability and so many hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of content, so much good co-op content. It wouldn't be that much of a stretch. And when I say MMO, I specifically mean give me the same like 4-player parties, maybe add in some like 8-player raids and stuff. Give me like 4-player parties, give me the same level of infinite weapon randomness, the same bazillion guns or whatever the tagline for Borderlands 2 was. And the same type of stuff. Maybe make all 8 of them, or however many characters there have been so far, maybe make all of them playable. And then just keep pumping content into this. Now, they are working on a Borderlands 3 right now. I don't know specifically very much about it. I haven't heard very much about it as of recording this on October 20th? 21st? Something like that. I have not heard any real firm details about Borderlands 3 other than a new Borderlands game is in development. I'm hoping for an MMO. I'm hoping for a format kind of similar to how Destiny is doing it, where every 5 or 6 months they're just giving you a new expansion, and it adds more guns, more content, more raids, everything. We're gonna need an unlimited level cap. We're gonna need a small amount of some form of PvP, and we're gonna need a lot of guns and a lot of content. And that's honestly, I think a Borderlands Online type MMO is actually top of the list. Like, I think it's the only one that on this list that is actually the number 1 most anticipated game. After this, everything else is just kind of, hey, these are games I'm looking forward to, not in any real order. Gearbox. Give me a Borderlands MMO, please. On a side note, there was a Borderlands Online that was supposed to be a China-only release, and that got scrapped back in, like, I think it was early 2015. I did a little research for this video. Not much, but a little. Like, just a little. Like, hand signs are fun. Next up, we've got Halo 6. I'm almost positive this is happening. I don't know when. I assume either fall 2017 or possibly early 2018. I assume they're going to announce it at E3 of 2017 and then probably follow in the footsteps of Fallout 4 and release it that same year. That's my expectation. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know if it actually will or not. Anyway, the reason I'm so looking forward to Halo 6, or whatever it's going to be called, is because Halo 5 ended on a cliffhanger. For everything that Halo 5 got wrong, and for everything that 343 has done wrong, they've always tried to fix it. And so I want to see how they fix what they did wrong in Halo 5 in Halo 6. It's going to be better than Halo 5. I really, really honestly believe that Halo 6 is going to be the best Halo game we've had so far. I don't know if it can actually live up to that hype, but that's what I really believe. If they take Warzone and evolve it more to where there's just more options. Firefight was a great addition to Halo 5. Warzone Assault is fun. I actually have a lot more fun with Warzone Assault than I do with actual Warzone. So I think there are ways that they can evolve Warzone and turn it into something really epic, into something really special. And then the arena, the classic Halo type game, I think they can do a lot better. I think map design can be a lot better. Halo 5 had some decent maps. Coliseum, the Rig, Plaza, these are some really good maps. But Halo 5 did not have a single map that I would put in my top 10 favorite Halo maps. Not one. There were just some maps that were good, and then there were other maps that were really bad. I'm looking at you, Fathom, and Torque. But I digress. I think Halo 6 is really going to be something special. The campaign, I hope, is going to be something special. I don't know where exactly they're going to go with it. I kind of secretly hope that they start focusing more on Locke and make Locke the real new protagonist of the series. Not because I don't like Master Chief. Master Chief's badass. But with this new generation of Halo fans, they need a new hero. Because the old generation of Halo fans, people that have been playing it since 2004, those people are slowly hanging up the sticks. They're slowly putting up their Xboxes and not playing anymore. And 343 has acknowledged this, and I think that's part of the reason why they have added things like sprint and Spartan abilities and stuff like that. They are trying to cater to a newer generation, which I understand. I appreciate that. But I think it's time to hand the series off to Locke and actually shell him out and make him a full character that we actually care about. My biggest problem with the Halo campaigns was that we never felt any emotion towards Chief until Halo 4. And there are so many other things wrong with Halo 4 that it's just kind of dismissed and no one really cares. And so that kind of bugs me. So I really hope that they give us a reason to care about Locke, or even give us a reason to care about Chief if they want to continue to make Chief the main protagonist, which they might. Who knows? So that's Halo 6. It's happening. I'm positive that it's happening. They made way too much money off Halo 5 to not make a Halo 6. It's that simple. So continuing the first-person shooter trend, we gotta go with Bulletstorm 2. Bulletstorm came out in, I think it was 2011, and it was a really fun game. It was a first-person shooter, but unlike most first-person shooters where you just have a gun, you also had I think it was called a leash, and it was this blue light thing that you shot out of your arm, and you could use it to grab opponents, grab the enemies, and you could like bring them to you, and you could kick them, and it had all kinds of different ways to kill people, and you got extra credit and extra points for killing enemies in creative ways. It was a lot of fun. It was like a 5-hour campaign, and it ended on a huge cliffhanger. And I've been waiting a long time for another Bulletstorm. I hope it's coming. This is another one that I did a little bit of research on. Not much, but a little bit. And the studio that made Bulletstorm is a studio from Poland called People Can Fly Games. Or just People Can Fly, I don't know. Anyway, they, right after making Bulletstorm, the people at Epic Games, the people who made Gears of War, and I think they own the rights to the Unreal Engine. They liked Bulletstorm and they liked People Can Fly so much that they merged. I don't know if they bought out People Can Fly or how exactly it happened, but they were owned by Epic Games for a while. Well, after the game Fortnite released, which I remember hearing about when it first was like in development, because it was by People Can Fly and Epic Games, so I was looking into it. Like, I read about it a little bit, but I don't know if it ever actually released. I have not heard anything about it in years. But anyway, after that game, they actually separated themselves from Epic Games again. And now People Can Fly is a separate studio again. Hopefully, they're working on Bulletstorm 2. So I remember a few years ago when the Fallout license was like the hottest commodity in gaming, and it was such a hot product that Bethesda Game Studios actually lent out this IP so that Obsidian Games, a company that had members from the teams that made the original Fallout games, they said, "Here, Obsidian Games, take Fallout, do with it what you will. But you only have like 18 months, so make something good, make it now, and release it." And we got Fallout New Vegas, which is probably my favorite Fallout game. Just being honest. It has as good a story and as good of player decision as Fallout 3, probably better. The companion system was better. The companion system is far superior even to Fallout 4's companion system. And it was just a really well-rounded game, especially considering that they only had, I think it was 18 months from the time they acquired permission to use the license until New Vegas launched in October of 2010, I believe it was. I'm positive it was October. Yeah, and I'm positive it was 2010, so I need to stop doubting myself, right? Anyway, well, Fallout 4 released last year, in November of last year, and was good. Personally, I was fairly disappointed with it, but that's a whole other video topic for another day. But at the end of the day, it was still more Fallout. I'm hoping that Bethesda Game Studios will let their IP fly free and be handed out to another developer, maybe Obsidian. Obsidian has expressed that they want to make another Fallout game, and give me another Fallout game. For lack of a better term, we'll call it Fallout New Orleans, because that's currently the rumor, is that it's going to be Fallout New Orleans. I hope this rumor is true. I hope it's in development. I hope we get another Fallout game in like 2018 or like 2017, maybe 2018. It would be awesome. I would love it. But see, part of why I wasn't so hyped about Fallout 4 was because they spent so much time making it bigger and fancier and prettier. I think the reason why Fallout New Vegas was better than Fallout 3 for me, it used the same engine, the same Gamebryo engine that Fallout 3 and Oblivion before it had used. And it just focused on refining a couple of gameplay elements and making a good story. And that's what Fallout needs right now. It needs better storytelling. It needs a few gameplay elements refined. Like, I'm one of those people who, if Fallout 4 had been on the same Gamebryo engine and had been literally the same game as Fallout 3 and New Vegas and even Oblivion, only with new storylines and, better writing, I would have been happy. Just honestly, I would have been happy. My expectations were for Fallout 4, or my hopes before it was announced, my hopes were too low. But I'm getting off track. The point is, give me Fallout New Orleans. Final video on this list is another Bethesda ordeal. Now, Bethesda, it's not entirely your fault, I'm sure, but give me Rage 2. I ain't playing with you. I'm serious. I need Rage 2 so bad. Now let's back it up just a little bit. Calm down just a little bit. This is not necessarily Bethesda's fault. id Software, the company that made Rage, has been busy with a couple different things. They've been busy with The reboot of Doom. They've been busy helping Bethesda Game Studios with the shooting mechanics, and I assume some of the graphical stuff on Fallout 4. And I don't know how involved they are in Quake Champions, I believe is what it's called, which is the new Quake game. But I refuse to believe that there will not be another Rage game. So since I believe that another Rage game will happen, just give it to us. Please. I need it. This game was so good. Maybe I'm a sucker for post-apocalyptic worlds. Maybe I'm a sucker for games with addictive card games built into the game as a mini game. This game was so good, though. It's got to be one of my top 3 or 4 favorite games from the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 generation. I can't even describe how good it was. Just go buy it. It's like $9. Now, it was a huge game for back in that day. And I believe on Xbox 360, I don't think it requires you to install it on your hard drive, but I think it highly recommends it. And it's like a 21 gig download, which was unheard of for last generation. Even Rage Remastered, I don't care. I make it backwards compatible on Xbox One. I don't care. I just want more Rage. Which is a weird thing to say when you sound sad like I do. But it's because I am sad. Every night I cry big tears of joy, like big tears of sadness, because there is no Rage 2. And the game ended on a cliffhanger. These freaking games and their freaking cliffhanger endings. That's what, 3 on this list? But I digress. Again, that's a topic for another day. Just give me more Rage. Pretty please. It's literally all I want. Well, that and the other 4 games on this list. It's Primetime CP23. And until next time, I'm out.